Ben and the spires of St. Stephen's rose in the distance, and then a wall of blue. A 50-year-old British woman named Emmeline Pankhurst led the suffragettes. Mrs. Pankhurst had transformed suffragists, women who asked for the right to vote, into suffragettes who demanded the right to vote. Head high, chin up, Mrs. Pankhurst and 7 suffragettes stepped up to the gate. "We have come here in the assertion of a right," said Mrs. Pankhurst to the chief inspector of the police. "The Prime Minister regrets that he is unable to receive the proposed delegation," said the chief inspector. Mrs. Pankhurst wouldn't budge. Prime Minister Herbert Henry Asquith often met with men. It was only fair that he meet with women. The chief inspector didn't budge either. It was a standoff. And then a police officer shoved Mrs. Pankhurst away from the gate. Mrs. Pankhurst slapped the officer across the face, twice. Right away, the chief inspector arrested Mrs. Pankhurst and the 7 women. Mrs. Pankhurst knew what would happen next. Her motto was, "Deeds, not words." Every marcher knew the motto, even Alice, even Lucy. The first row of marchers charged the gate. The police grabbed the women and hurled them onto the cobblestone street. The crowd shouted, "Shame! Shame!" 16 times the women pressed forward. The police punched and kicked and clubbed the women. The women curled into balls to shield themselves. The police arrested 108 women, even the Americans, Alice Paul and Lucy Burns. Alice meets Lucy. At the Cannon Row police station, Alice Paul spotted a tall woman who wore a United States pin on her coat. Another American. 24-year-old Alice introduced herself. She was from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. The woman was 29-year-old Lucy Burns from Brooklyn, New York. Alice and Lucy had both sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to study in another country. While in London, Alice and Lucy met other women like themselves, strong-minded, brave, educated, and rebellious, and got swept up in the Votes for Women movement. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the police released the suffragettes. Later, the charges would be dropped. Alice and Lucy didn't go to jail, this time. Alice wrote a letter to her mother who lived in New Jersey. She described the clash with the police. "Dear Mama, on Tuesday, I went to a deputation to the House of Commons, and 108 of us were arrested. The scene was one awful nightmare. It was a wonder no one was killed." Alice's mother wanted her to come home right away, but Alice wasn't ready to go home. Neither was Lucy. They were learning how to organize women and how to lead. Emmeline Pankhurst had invited Alice and Lucy to join protests throughout England and Scotland. That summer, Alice and Lucy hopped in Mrs. Pankhurst's brand new motor car. "We had thrilling times here last night," Alice wrote her mother. Norwich, July 27, 1909. Alice and 3 other suffragettes urged townspeople to disrupt Winston Churchill's speech. Police charged the women with inciting a riot, but didn't jail them. West London, July 30, 1909. After disrupting the Chancellor of the Exchequer's speech, Alice, Lucy, and 11 others were arrested and jailed. The women smashed prison windows and then called a hunger strike. The British government released the starving women early. Glasgow, August 21, 1909. Late one night, Lucy boosted Alice over a fence. Alice climbed onto a roof, planning to slip inside St. Andrew's Halls, where Lord Crewe would be speaking. A workman caught Alice, but the police let her go. Later, Alice and Lucy were arrested after they rushed the hall entrance. The pair skipped town before court. "It would be a big expense to hunt all over Scotland for us," Alice wrote to her mother. Burnt Island,